Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Struther.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New music so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Struther.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on? It's your boy Sean Spencer back again. One half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, with the first show in the second season, in the season preview for Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. Here we are, guys. We are back getting you ready for the football season because football is back. But before I even go any further, I got to shout out the people that are with me. You know her as the host of Diversity with Delilah. Delilah!
Peace. Peace, guys.
Yeah, and the man that's gonna give me lung cancer because there's so much daggone smoke in the building. There's so much smoke whenever he enters the building. My guy, Nicholas, I want the smoke. Rosario, what up, Nick?
That's right, baby. It's football season. It's time to
Woo!
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Hey, like he said, hey, football season's right here, guys. We are right, literally not even around the corner. We are like at the doorstep. 2 days away.
We are
Guys,
less than 48 hours from
how do y'all feel, man? Football is back. How y'all feel?
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready. I love
feel
football.
like my 7-year-old self eating some ice cream on a Saturday night watching a movie. That's how I feel. Damn good, my friend.
Right?
Damn good.
I like that thought. But look, real quick, before we get into it, because we got so much to talk to you guys about. So glad you guys are here and you have joined us. But we have to send our birthdays out. And real quick, I want to shout out my junior year, my sophomore year geometry teacher, Mrs. Becky Henry. Miss Becky Henry, happy birthday to you.
Aw,
Wow.
happy birthday.
So happy. She literally was the reason I got out of high school. She got me out of my sophomore year. My junior and senior year, I went to her class and studied every other day. So shout out to her, man. So you definitely helped me out. I wanted to show you a little bit of love, man. I also want to shout out one of my guys that I used to work with, my man straight off the boat from Africa, Fo Dayo Folk Press, my dude, man, work with me over with these guys at a CSI, work with the adults with mental disabilities. My man is a king, man. If you see any of his pictures, I'll show you guys after the show. He is a king, straight up. So shout out to you.
Happy birthday to both of them.
Happy birthday. Woo.
Hey, and last but most certainly not least, I would be remiss if I did not mention this name. We will talk about it on Watch the Football Weekly tomorrow, but tomorrow, my guy, Dub K, Will Kramer's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Will.
Oh, happy birthday there, Will, Mr. South Carolina eggplant.
Yes, the eggplant is in the building. So shout out to you, man, because you had ever since February, along with these two that are in here, you and Ab, and ever since February, you've been giving me every single week doing the show. We got a show, Watching Football Weekly tomorrow, so definitely have to shout him out. Now, that being said,
yes,
with that being said, we definitely have to. We have some sad news. We always do the birthdays, but we also do the RIPs. Two former NFL players, Nick, I'm coming to you first. David Patton and Keith McCants passed away recently.
I mean, always said when you lose, especially when you think about these gentlemen were not, my understanding, were not extremely old. McCants was what, in his mid-50s, 54, 50.
Pat was 47.
Pat was 40. So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff where you just go, man, you hope, these weren't football-related things or, guys die from different things, after they, but unfortunately some athletes do die younger than others. But, yeah, it's just, it's a sad thing. McCants made his way through Chicago, I believe, for a brief time and played with the Buccaneers. And you just, you never want to understate something like that. Obviously, this guy has a family who's going to miss him terribly. Both of these gentlemen So yeah, I'm gonna shout out to the families. Prayers for them.
Yeah.
And again, it's always sad when you see, people you grew up, or people who even grew up alongside you, watching them play football. So because I'm in that age bracket, so for me, yeah.
Well,
I
right.
do, yeah. So it's one of those things.
Now, and David Patton, Delilah. David Patton was more recent. We know he had the 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots, but outside of that, I know he played for Washington. But Keith McCants was more when we were growing up. I mean, I remember him in the late 80s for Alabama dominating the game. You know what I mean? Like one of the first overall picks in that 90 draft when he went to, I think, the Buccaneers, the Bears.
The Bucs. He was with both
Yeah, man. So, but he only lasted 5 years in the league, but still, you never want to see any of this happen. You never want to see any of this happen. But also with this, Delilah, a name that you brought up before the show, Michael Williams passed away.
Yeah, sad. He was also very young, also in his 50s, and I think most people know him as Omar Little, right, from The Wire, right? That was but he was recently on. He was also recently in Lovecraft Country. I don't know if you guys ever saw that show on HBO.
Boardwalk Empire.
Very good. It's very good show, like, kind of creepy kind of type of stuff, but really great. Black creators in front and behind the camera, so definitely recommend it if you want to see like kind of a creepy kind of horror genre that's not Eurocentric. So it's on HBO Max. Really good. He was in that, also really good in that, but sad to see him go so soon.
Yeah.
And so rest in peace and condolences to his family and friends and all that.
It's a shame. It's a shame, man. Again, you don't like to hear about anybody passing away, but when you have names like this, people that we've grown up with or we knew about, these guys weren't that old, right? Exactly. All of them were, between 40 and 50 or, around that age. So it just stinks to hear it. It just stinks to hear it. So shout out to their families. We hope and pray that, you guys can take care of the Ravens. Everything is done to the best of your ability. But we got to move on. Not to belittle that situation, but we definitely have to move on because football is back, ladies and gentlemen. It is back. It is here, ladies and gentlemen. And Delilah, I'm coming to you, ladies. This is what we've been waiting for. When you guys all the way back in February, in January, when we went and did the first ever Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable, we were waiting for this time of the year. How you feeling? How you feeling, Delilah?
I'm excited. Yeah, Thursday is NFL's back officially on Thursday, and I'm interested to see what happens between now and then. Some things might change. For that Thursday game, see if we get a few questionables actually playing because we won't know officially until tomorrow, right? So waiting on that kind of stuff and see how it goes from there. Hopefully Godwin gets to start.
I know. I saw him on the potential injured list. We'll definitely look into that a little bit later. So, it's going to be interesting. And Dak, I know we talked about Dak. Dak's got shoulder issues coming off the ankle problem. Washington fans are like, yes.
So
I'm sure you guys are happy.
We'll see how Thursday goes.
Right. But before, like you said, we still have to get to Thursday. Today is Tuesday. We still have Wednesday, and we still have Thursday before the game. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the league. Absolutely. We have not been around in a while, and so much has happened since we've been gone.
Kelly Clarkson.
Right? But I have to say this, Delilah. I'm coming back to you on this one. Cam, released from New England.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised by this because Bill Belichick got the QB he wanted, right? We knew he went and checked out Mac Jones, and all the rumors said that he really liked this kid, and he sees him as his new protege, right? Because that's what he does, right? That's what he did with Tom Brady. That's, and that's what he feels he could do with Mac Jones. There's also a lot of, I don't know if it's true, but there's a lot of shade coming out of there. Like they were saying how he was teaching Cam Newton plays, and I'm like, was he? So I don't know, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of shadiness coming out. Like y'all gave Cam Newton a shot. I get that he didn't fit into your scheme, but y'all gotta be like shady like that. It's kind of messed up. Like that's how like players are kind of coming out like saying stuff, and I'm like, is that how you really feel? I don't know. I just I don't think he's gonna be a starter this season, but he'll be back up somewhere. That's for sure.
He's got to get picked up somewhere.
Yeah, he'll
He's
get picked.
absolutely got it.
Yeah, he'll be a backup to somebody.
Man, Nick, I know.
We'll
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm wondering where he'll land. That's going to be the next big news, right? Like the next big news is wherever he lands as backup. And there's a lot of potential spots. Like people keep saying Dallas, right? Like
Mhm.
Dallas is a spot that's been rumored. I'm gonna say that I'm just following the analysts, right? That one of the rumors is Dallas, Texas as well, right? Because
Mhm.
they're going with Tyrod, but that means that means they're not gonna move forward Deshaun at this moment because he still has it has nothing to do with sitting out. We know why they're
No, we know
putting
the
a
whole
pause on
situation.
him, right? So
Yeah.
we're not gonna go into that. And so the Texans are another spot that they feel he could land as backup to Tyrod. So I don't know. Like I guess Texas is looking like the place on one of those teams.
Everybody seems to want to go to the Texans. Everybody does. And I mean, hey, one of the and Nick, real quick, one of the places that I know has been talked about is Washington. Him knowing, the whole staff, which is actually the old Panthers staff. You know what I mean, Nick? So that it's one thing, but I don't want him, but
well, I thought that was the whole thing. Didn't we talk about that before about how we figured that Ron Rivera was pretty much done with Cam?
Yeah.
They're like, like he really didn't give him a look anyway. Like he had an opportunity, really. If he wanted to pick up Cam, he probably could have last year when Cam was out there floating. And obviously, and if anyone knows Cam well, it's Rivera.
Right.
He had him in Carolina, and I just think if he really wanted Cam, he could have had him. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And you guys can, go forward with the bearded wonder. See what you guys do. But Cam, I mean, you hope that he catches on somewhere else. It seems like he still has some football left in him, but you know what? Stranger things have happened. He could sit out the whole year and not get anything. So
that's true.
That's the NFL for you. Like Jerry once said, stands for not for long.
Right. And especially look, you have guys like Drew Brees that just retired and Phillip Rivers who's already made it clear that hey, there's a playoff team that might need my help.
Yeah,
I'll be available.
Why Philip went home and the 10 kids were there, and he went, "Yeah, I better go back and play."
He's over there.
I don't know about this.
I don't know. He's over there coaching high school football successfully, apparently.
Good for him, though.
Like his team, like his team, they beat up like 40 to something. I don't know.
Right.
Did
he play quarterback?
Is that the team that beat Bishop Sycamore? Is that what it was? No, I'm kidding. Shout out to Nathan Snell. What up, Anthony? Shout out to Nathan Snell, who went on a little bit earlier. Is going on a little bit later tonight. Who brought up the whole Bishop Sycamore story? That crazy story. And ESPN bought it. Right. There you go. So I'll let you know. Hey, we all got a shot. How smart are they now? Oh. Right. But all right. So I'm coming back to you, Nick, because one of the things that we talked about is where
it says Facebook user, so I can't tell who that is.
Oh, that's Anthony.
Hey, what up, Anthony?
What up, Anthony? Shout out King, the queen of diversity, and Mr. I want the smoke. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I want the smoke. Come on.
Hey, shout out to Anthony Handyman, Nicholas, and myself, along with a couple guys from Washington Football Weekly, Big Nate, the Ball Pit, all got together this past Sunday. Did a season preview, man.
That was a riot.
That was a riot. Got a little smoky in there for sure. Woo. But listen. So Nick, I'm coming to you because we've talked about where could Cam go, and when we think about where could he go, it's going to have to potentially be a place that somebody gets hurt. That's where he would actually get a lot more attention. And there's teams that have been dealing with injuries, not necessarily at quarterback.
Different injuries,
Right. Shout out to Nathan. His Baltimore Ravens just lost 2 running backs, J.K. Dobbins and Justice Hill for the year. But they got Le'Veon back.
Apparently, they put him on the practice squad, eh? How about that?
Yes, he is.
How about that? I think he's very interesting. I mean, I get it. You have Gus Andrews, who's going to start for Baltimore, but, you're thinking, well, then what do you got behind him? Justice Hill was his backup.
Right.
So now you don't have no backup.
Right. So he might get some play. I don't know, man.
We might see Le'Veon before too long, right?
But now this is the only place where you really don't have to worry about it as much as other places because of the fact that your quarterback is Lamar Jackson.
It's also a running back. So
Right,
yeah,
yeah, he
you're
he
okay
accounts
for
for
the
half
most
the
part,
running.
right? Yeah.
Right.
Right.
He accounts for a lot of your runs anyways, but yeah.
But
Again, but you don't
now
want him to become the focal point in the running game. That would be bad. That'd
exactly.
be bad.
Now look, there are some other guys, and Baltimore really is getting hit because we talked about they got Bateman. He's out. He's going to be out
And
the
see, that
first
hurts
couple
for his
games.
development because the kid's a
Right.
rookie.
Right. Then you
Out
have
3
Zach
weeks.
Martin, who had
Zach
COVID
Martin,
for Dallas. Bakhtiari's
Right.
not starting that first week. Gilmore's going to be
Bay,
out the
no.
first couple weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
Tariq
it's
Cohen's
weird.
still out for the first 6 games, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
PUP
Right.
list. So
Yep.
So that's something. I mean, these injuries are coming, and some I don't know. In some ways, when you look at it, it's almost better to get injured in the beginning of the year, so
Well,
you can get
sure.
over it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a school of thought. They might say that, but I mean, you never want to get hurt. Period.
No, you,
but if
you
you
never
do
want to
get
miss
hurt,
any time if you're a professional, right?
right?
I mean,
right.
Michael Thomas is going to be out still. So there's there's so many. Like I was reading the list had at least 20 people on it that are like injured or something or COVID-19 or whatever.
Lamar is a QB. I mean, he is. Of course, we know that.
Yeah. But he still gets down on the ground. He still gets down on the ground.
Right.
Like, you don't
Until he
want-
proves he can
But
beat
you
you in the
don't
air.
want you don't want your quarterback to be your running back. That's also
Right.
not
That's
good.
all I was saying.
We know
tell
that.
him, Delilah.
We know that.
Tell him, Delilah. Right.
We know that.
No, I know, but like sometimes people like who don't really like see maybe they're not used to football or they don't really watch games. They'll be like, oh,
Right.
I'm like, no, you don't want your quarterback to
You
be
don't
your
want that.
running
That's
back.
not
Andy's
what we
not
want.
used to having a quarterback, right? His quarterback's Matt Ryan. So
Oh,
Hey, I would take
There
Matt. Wait a minute.
you go.
You would take Matt over Andy Dalton?
I would take Matt Ryan over Andy Dalton, sure.
Okay.
But he ain't
I'll
running.
take him as my number
But he ain't
one.
running.
Oh, no, he ain't running. No, he's a statue.
All I
He's a
was
statue
saying
like Drew
was
Bledsoe.
Andy's not used to a quarterback who runs, so
Right, I got you.
that's all I was
Yeah,
saying.
you're right.
If he
You're right.
wants to chime in on our little chat here, Mr. Handy.
Well, look,
I love
okay,
it.
but look, so we have those guys, and we talked about that. And Delilah, I'm coming to you. We know those guys who. Oh, wait a
Don't
minute.
put
Sorry, I'm
smoke at me on my show,
I'm
dog.
just laughing.
Don't play with me. That's right. Oh, no, I'm Shrek.
Oh, wow.
Hey, donkey.
You're right. Fire. The fire. So look, Delilah, we've talked about that, the guys that are hurt due to
Right.
injury, but then we also got to do with the other situations. TJ Watt might not play week 1 because of contract issues. We
Yeah.
know the Michael Thomas situation and how he's going to be out to what, week 6, and
Something like
Tyrod starting over in the Houston Texans. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because Deshaun Watson's out. So it's not just injury that are bringing these guys
No.
out. There's a lot of people that are out maybe on the puck list or just
Right.
out for whatever other reason. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that I'm interested to see not just what we're seeing now, but what the COVID protocol is going to do, right? Because that's going to be the kicker, right? Is are there going to be games where you have to forfeit? Because that's the rule. Like that's the rule.
Yeah.
Is if your team is not at a certain vaccination rate, right? That's basically what he was saying. We're not rescheduling your team. So it's going to be something to see if that does come up, right? It's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen. Like something like this is gonna happen, and we're gonna see this. Right now we see like 2 or 3 names of contracts. Some were also on COVID protocol, we know, and they're coming back and able to start week 1, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see if teams have to forfeit. No one wants to lose by a forfeit.
Right.
And no, that is going to be.
No one wants to forfeit that money either.
Woo!
That's true. That's the other part.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
Money.
Mike
It's
Vick.
a business. Football is a business.
Listen,
Like
yeah,
they say
so
in Italian.
so it's
It's a
going to be.
business.
Yeah, I feel like the few names that we see now is going to be nothing once that issue comes up and fans are pissed and teams are pissed and whatever. Like, see what happens with that. But with Deshaun Watson, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm glad that Texans actually made a decision. They're like, forget it. We're going to go with Tyrod, right? Kind of start over, reset, see what happens. With Tyrod as your quarterback. He's got some pieces, right? They Texans spent some time. Yeah, Cole Beasley. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't blame you. I was looking at Cole Beasley too for some of my drafts. So I was like, I don't know, guy.
We'll see.
Anyway, by the way, if you guys picked the glorious wonder, the favorite quarterback of our host here, Sean at Minnesota. He's also an anti-vaxxer. So if he's one of your
Kirk.
quarterbacks,
He said, "I'm not taking any shots."
throwing that out there, guys. So anyway,
we know he's not going to take
Shots
any shots
in
down the
either.
field either. So.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, if you have Kirk Cousins as your QB, put him as your backup. I hope you have a better one.
Be prepared to draft another quarterback.
Delilah, to your point, Ryan Tannehill just came off the COVID list.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is going to rear its ugly head. It did last year.
Yeah, last year was different because they rescheduled games because we didn't have a vaccine and, started out late. And so it was different. Now it's, now it's a new set of circumstances. So with TJ Watt, I feel like they'll get through that contract issue, whatever it is. I think he'll be playing I feel like they're going to get that figured out. Michael Thomas is a little trickier. I feel like that's like more of a personal thing going on over there. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. And again, congrats to Tyrod. You got your shot, guy. Go in there, ball out, man. Show them so you could keep that starting position, or someone's gonna come and take it from you.
Absolutely.
Go out there and
be careful.
Yeah, do your thing and prove that that's your spot.
Right. Shout out to Anthony Haney talking about why y'all piling on old coleslaw beef. And Nate talking about regardless of what with Deshaun, the outcome won't be good for both. Well, let's hope one of them at least gets good outcome with Deshaun Watson. But I don't think it's going to be good in either side. But so speaking about Deshaun, we talked about Cam. He's a free agent, and one of the reasons why he's potentially a free agent, not confirmed, but we think about it, he's not vaccinated, and teams they're interesting. If you don't have your backs, you're not going to be. You're going to be in the back of the line.
I mean, your team was like really low. Now y'all are at the top, right? You guys are like at 80%. Washington.
Yeah, we're at the 85. We got changed.
Ron Rivera shamed the hell out of those players. They're like,
he has cancer.
Think about it again. It goes back to the business end of this.
Right.
If you're a team and you're an owner and you're going, wait a minute. If we forfeit a game, we forfeit a salary for that week. You know what I'm saying? Like players, that's the mistake because the owner doesn't have to pay then. But I'm just saying, like, your coach is going, no, everybody who's going to give it, go get vaxxed. Like, stop playing. Go get this done. Let's get it. Let's take the focus off that. Get back to football and let's do our thing. And I think some of the teams, it could very well be a distraction this year with the whole COVID thing and not wanting to get the shot. Like I said, Cole Beasley's well against it. He's made that very clear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, you just don't know. But again, at the same time.
Like, you imagine being the guy. You imagine being the guy that gets your team to have to forfeit.
Right. Well, I mean, again, right. Then that'll be dealt with at that time. But that's,
I'm telling you, that's going to definitely rear its ugly head to either forfeit or, like you mentioned before, Nick, I'll come back to you, the game shots. And there's a lot of guys that are sitting out waiting to get their opportunity to come in there. We got notable free Larry Fitz, who you already say your thing on.
Right.
Golden State, Freeman. Like, a lot of these guys will play. I mean, that they might come into a situation where team needs somebody and they'll be available.
So the new rule. Sorry, I know. So the new rule right now we're dealing with like preseason, so they weren't going to cancel preseason games. So people were just sat out. Mm-hmm. But the new rule, and that came from the NFL, they're saying like if your team ends up like with a vast like COVID like outbreak or whatever, and it's due to unvaxxed players. That's what they said. Like if it's an unvaxxed, if an unvaxxed player, is the reason for your COVID outbreak, they're not rescheduling your game. You have to forfeit that game. Yeah, exactly. I didn't make these rules. That came from Roger Goodell.
See, that's the thing is that, and obviously the Players Association had to agree to that.
Correct.
Right. Because that's in the bar, right? So it's not like they didn't know that was coming.
Right.
You had an idea.
That's the thing. Like,
it's interesting though, because looking at this list that you have up here, Sean,
Mm.
Devontae Freeman, Todd Gurley, they were in camps this season and they got let go again.
Yeah,
So it
they
does
were.
make you wonder about some of these veterans who, have now gone through at least they were with other teams and now they're cut again.
Right.
And you wonder what again, Gurley with the knees. It's
Right.
been bothering him the last 2-3 years, and look at what's happened.
That's
He
true.
went from being the top rusher in the league to being cut in training camp
Yeah.
or cut in
Right.
preseason. Devontae
Right.
Freeman was a good runner.
Yes, he was.
Very
And,
good.
in his
I remember.
first few years in the league, and then again, you get injured, you get off, you fall off, and look at what happens.
Yeah.
Golden Tate as well. The Golden Tate was never a solid
No,
number
but he
one
was-
great receiver, but he
he
was
was
always
solid.
He's a good receiver.
Yeah.
He should have the job.
He was always a number 2-3 guy who could get
Right.
out there and catch the ball, and So yeah, it's. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Mr. Georgia has decided to chime in again, telling us how Gurley has had issues since college.
All right. So
Todd Gurley.
So David's saying, how did that work for Tannehill though, Nick? There isn't really difference between if you're vaxxed or not. A positive test benches you.
No, I get that, but I'm saying, as Delilah was saying though, if an unvaxxed player causes,
Right.
she was just saying that. I mean, yeah, anybody could still catch the thing. We know even vaccinated people can get COVID. They've shown that people who have gotten vaccinated have gotten COVID after the fact. So wasn't trying to argue that in any way. But going off of what the Delilah said and what the rule is, that's where it comes into play because that's money then, and your team is losing it. And like she said, you hate to be the guy who got everybody infected or had to go, quarantine for the 10 days or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? You hate to be that guy and missing out
that money. That's what comes down to it. But I mean, you got a lot of guys on this list that are very capable players. Schwartz, who was out for the Super Bowl, Nate's talking about Baltimore should have signed him. He had knee issues, but he's still quality lineman. Like I don't know, man.
Well, there you go, Nate. You could probably get him cheaper now.
Okay. So basically, like I copied and pasted the rules, right? So here's what they said, right? So the NFL sent a memo, which again, that means that because remember the players are represented by their union, right? We know that is why they've gone on strike, and people are like, "Oh, you're going on strike if you have millions of dollars, right?" Remember that before.
That's always been the argument.
I know, but still, I'm just saying. So they sent a memo to the club stating that if a game cannot be rescheduled, and see, here's the thing. So maybe they could reschedule, but it's an 18-week, right? They've already extended. Remember.
There's an extra week this year, 17 games.
We have already gone.
Where are you going, right?
So they've already expanded the game to 18 weeks because that's what they're calling it, right? 18 weeks. It is when you count it down, okay?
Yeah.
So what they're saying is, if a game cannot be rescheduled during the 18-week schedule due to a COVID-19 outbreak among unvaccinated players, do you see? That's what I'm trying to say. If it's a huge outbreak amongst the unvaccinated players, the team with the outbreak will forfeit and be credited with a loss.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, players on both teams will not be paid.
Right.
Okay, for the loss of contest. And then the team responsible for the canceled game due to unvaccinated players will cover financial losses. So that is a big deal. So if the NFL can't find a way to squeeze you in, because they're not going to do what happened last year, where we were seeing football almost every day, right? Like, Tuesday game
every day. It
was like Tuesday.
Right.
That's not going to happen. That's what they're saying.
They don't want that, right?
So if they cannot accommodate your game, you forfeit, you lose if it's your team that caused the outbreak amongst unvaccinated players, and then both teams are going to have to pay restitution. Like they're not going to get paid. You know what that both teams you don't get paid that game. So that's the rule. That's what came down. And again, just like Sean was saying, that means that the Players Association agreed to this, right? Because it's not like just like with the 18-week schedule, they had to agree, right? So again, it's just that is what the rule is. We've
already seen that this has reared its ugly head. I mean, Washington, we're prime example. All season, we dealt with all of that. And everybody gave us a hard time for that. The reason why we're one of the more vaccinated teams right now. But this is playing.
Anyway.
This is rear its ugly head. We see what the rules actually say. So, Nick, before we move on,
Yep.
is there anybody on this list, Nick, that you think at least by week 2 or 3 they'll have a job?
Well, again, being the NFL and the way that it is, no, I mean guys who, maybe didn't get a lot of playing. This is what you see when people say, "Well, why should you play in the preseason?" I think, if anything, it's to warm your body up as well, not just to learn, just to but getting reps in, getting into football shape, as it were. A lot of guys pull hammies in week 1, or they'll pull something will happen because they're not totally like in game shape, and you're running full speed on week 1. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I actually could look for a couple of the running backs. Like I said, maybe a Devontae Freeman gets another look somewhere because a running back goes down. Somebody takes a chance on Todd Gurley because, again, a running back goes down.
Right,
Again,
right.
I don't know why Michael or
Yeah.
Mitchell Schwartz shouldn't get signed. Everybody needs line help. Linemen get hurt like it's,
I know.
Russell Okung will probably get, yeah. So I could see maybe a good half of these guys at least could catch on with someone by,
Right.
second or third, fourth week.
Hey, what up, Wendy? I figured with the Go Pack Go, you were here.
What's up, Wendy?
Oh, it's Wendy. Her Packer fandom, yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think it will be running back. Honestly, Golden Tate surprises me. I don't know why he's not on the team right
Especially when
now.
you look at the wide receiver, even though he played with Detroit already. But as I read to you on Sunday, the 5 wide receivers that the Lions have, and you go, that's what you're
Who?
going. I mean,
Right. Who?
Who? The 5th guy was Tom Kennedy. Like, who is Tom Kennedy?
Yeah.
Like, and Rashad Perryman couldn't beat him out.
Right. Wait, look at Wendy coming with the smoke. Hush, Nick.
Wendy doesn't want any of this smoke. Tell her to relax. Tell her to,
Shout
go
out to
outside,
you,
get a
Wendy.
breath of fresh air. Summer, don't come at me.
Let's
Today's
go.
not the day. Today's not the day.
Today's not today. Yo.
No.
No.
Dikembe Mutombo, you. No.
It's like my favorite.
Don't want to hear it, right? Don't want to hear it.
I love it. Yo, so hopefully one of these guys does end up on a contract. AP, we had him a couple years ago. Then he went to Detroit. Love him dearly, but I was talking to Nathan earlier. It's just he's like an old car. It takes too long for him to get warmed up.
Get warmed up, yeah.
You know what I mean? And and the league is moving away. Even though you see Derrick Henry getting 2,000 yards, I mean that's a different situation. He's a monster.
That is a
It's
different.
like a 75 Pinto you don't want to get rid of.
Right.
You're like, no, I'm gonna keep the car. It's so nice.
I love it. He's saying Nathan Snell saying Richard Sherman should be on the team. Nathan, remember
he's in trouble with the law.
The
They're not
legal
gonna
issues.
take they're not gonna take a chance.
Yes.
You may
Nobody
be
wants to
familiar
touch
with
him.
this song, Nathan. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won. So
He's
there you go.
basically like he's
That's what's happening with Mr. Sherman.
he's in a similar situation as Deshaun Watson, where they're waiting for their legal problems to pan out.
Yep.
No team is gonna want to, really focus on these guys, especially Sherman, and a team like, right now until that gets taken care of. And everybody knows what's going on. We're not going to go into details, but we know what's happening in both those situations.
Exactly.
So that's basically what's happening with those guys.
So we hope one of them lands on a team. We hope they, Russell Coons, another lineman that, teams need linemen.
Exactly.
We hope it land on a team. But if they do not, hey, they're available. Don't pick them on fantasy, guys. We will be talking about that
Lesson number
a
one,
little bit
don't
later.
pick them up on fantasy.
Right. We will be talking about that a little bit later, and David Wright will be joining us. You see him here in the comments. But we have to move on to the longest running segment on Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable, Diversity with Delilah. And this week, she will be covering Kassandra Garcia, the highest Latina executive in the NFL currently with the LA Rams. Delilah.
Yay. All right. Anyway, so basically, I try to kind of cover different positions, right? Different people, and like kind of spread the diversity around. And anyway, so right, like I try to cover as much of the gambit as I can. People of color, women, LGBTQ, just kind of across the board. Anyway, so with Kassandra Garcia, especially with September 15th being the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month, so I figured let me kind of highlight a Latina this time around. So Kassandra Garcia is a second-generation Mexican-American. More specifically, she is a football management analyst for the Los Angeles Rams and is the highest-ranking Latina at any of the NFL's 32 front offices. She says she credits her Nana, which is what we call our grandmothers. I don't know. I know some people know that, some people don't. and her mother with imbuing her with the strength to pursue her dreams. Her parents emigrated here. Her grandparents emigrated here from Mexico and began, their own restaurant, built their own businesses in Tucson, Arizona, because that's where she's from, born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. She went to the University of Arizona, where she earned her degree in business administration. But also that's where she kind of fell in love with kind of participating in football management. She interned for the school's football team as the rally cat. That's the person that goes out and gets everybody excited, for the program. And so she was a recruiting intern for the University of Arizona football programs where, so she would hand out T-shirts and, all these different things and have a lot of fun, kind of getting people to come and participate in their program. Because of her accounting skills, or because that's what she was going to school for, they were like, hey, well, come on and kind of be an analyst. So that's kind of where she started, was on their baseball team as an analyst there. After graduating, she went to the AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres, where she spent 1 year there away from sports, but she realized that even though baseball was fun, she really wanted to go back to football. And so she attended 2018 a Women in Football Career Forum that landed her back working for the Wildcats under then coach Kevin Sumlin in their football department. And so that's kind of where she landed back into football and kind of moved away from baseball.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Tony Pasteur, the Rams vice president of football business administration, is the one who hired her as an analyst for the Los Angeles Rams. And so basically in an industry where women only hold 32% of the professional management positions, and of which only 7% are women of color, it's kind of a big deal that she actually is an analyst for the Los Angeles Rams. And so basically that is what she's doing. She's the one that handles all of the compliance stuff, all the strategy during so all the compliance operation strategy during the COVID-19. So she's the one who kind of is the one that is making sure that that's running smoothly with the Rams, writing contract proposals. And so that's basically what she does there. And so basically she's like, when someone tells me I can't do something, it's game over, right? So she gets that, right? She gets that fire, that passion. And she's like, I'm going to make sure that I go and do it. And so it's exciting. Hopefully she moves higher within, football, maybe moves into the actual main NFL offices and climbs the ladder there. So exciting stuff. So looking forward to see where else she goes with her NFL career.
Sounds good.
I like that.
All right, Kassandra Garcia. Nice.
Kassandra Garcia. Shout out to you, Delilah. Thank you for that. You always bring us somebody new and nice. And appreciate you also mentioning that you said it's Latino History Month coming up, correct?
Yeah, September 15th. So
September 15th. See, we get a little, they cut us in half.
Well,
we get half a month.
We get two.
It's until October 15th, right?
So we get half of September.
They got to split us up. Why they got to split us up, bro?
Because we started off with only a week.
Why can't we get a? I mean, again, I'm not arguing because Black people only get 28 days. So
no, I don't.
I'm just saying.
No, you're right. No, it's funny, but back in the day, they only gave us a week. It was like Hispanic Heritage Week. And it was a week. It was a week of the 15th, and then we're like, "Wait a minute, we want a month too." So
it's funny, you always see the same Latino performer. I was like Edward James Olmos and Jimmy Smits. Here's Hispanic Heritage Week. Honor those guys. Right?
I love those guys, but there's definitely more than that.
I do too, but I'm just saying.
I agree.
Back in the day, the only two guys in show business
this is it,
that were Latino were Edward James Olmos and Jimmy Smits. Here's your Hispanic Heritage actors.
No, you're right.
30 years ago.
And then they'll be like Lou Diamond Phillips, and like he's Filipino.
Doesn't matter. We adopted him after he did La Bamba.
We did adopt him,
Right.
but still.
Lou Diamond Phillips is one of us.
Still brought him.
Latino.
Still brought him.
He's Asian.
Yo, I love that. So we're definitely gonna have to shout that out. September 15th. Look for it. We're definitely gonna be bringing you something for that.
Latinos are local home.
That's
That's why you don't want the smoke up in here, bro. Leave me alone.
right. We have to move on because, like we mentioned earlier in the show, Thursday is the first game of the season. The defending Super Bowl champions.
The trophy throwing.
You know what?
I thought he was going to start with that one.
Oh, you think I was going to start with it? No, I was trying to be nice, Nick. I was trying to be cool about it, but you done did it.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
I will never forgive this man, okay?
I'm telling you, Sean
You
has probably
cannot
watched
have
that
it.
video 10,000 times.
You can't
Yes.
have it both ways. They're about to play the team you hate the most. So you either gonna have to support Tom Brady
Very
or
true.
not.
Very
Here we go. We them boys.
Very true. And hey, we got my guy David Wright, who will be joining us in a little bit, talking about we them
Poor
boys.
soul.
I cannot wait.
Poor soul.
Join us also on Thursday. Let's Talk Football returns. Myself, Janae Struther, the dynamic duo. We are back at 6 o'clock, and we will be there right before the game. David Wright is going to jump on the show, talk about his Cowboys, talk about their impending loss. You know, it's about to be coming.
Hey, we'll be at my buddies if you want us to chime in for a second.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Delilah and I will be at my buddies on Thursday to watch the game. So.
Let's go. You know, hey, and we're gonna go ahead and Nick, I'm coming straight to you. Wait, let me see what he says. I mean, you already got 6 and 7. You can say, woo, woo, woo.
Oh, that's a ring, though, not the trophy itself.
Right.
That's different.
You see this? Daggone trophy thrower.
Trophy throwing.
But Nick, I'm coming to you first. Season opener, Tampa Bay, Dallas. Who you got? What's the score? I mean, what do you think's happening?
Okay.
Let's go.
Here's the thing, and I know you guys love when I start with that, but
He's like, again.
No, I really do, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I actually think that the Dallas Cowboys somehow pull out a victory here on Thursday night, and it's one of those, and it's not because I have great logic or
That make me crazy.
I had to hit him
I
with
love
that.
that.
That's fine. Hit me with Janae saying I'm crazy. That's fine.
For sure.
But here's why I say, again, this is not like logic or I have some secret formula or I'm in the coach's room or whatever. But you know how sometimes you have these things where it's the opening game of the year. You're their defending Super Bowl champions. You've got nothing to prove to anybody.
Right.
You want to look and see, you know, you got the 22 guys from who started last year coming back.
They do.
So they didn't really play in the preseason. So you want to, you kind of see this first game is what you have. Let everybody get the rust off, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But I think this is the opportunity where Dallas goes, look, nobody expects us to win this game anyways.
Right.
So I'm gonna let it fly. Right? I mean, you got Dak, you got Zeke, you got Gallup, you got Lamb, you got Cooper, what is to say that Dak doesn't light them up like a Christmas tree on his first game? I mean, again, I'm simply saying that given the situation,
Martin is out.
I know.
Yeah.
Takes away from the line a little bit. I get that. But I'm just saying, yes, again, you hope that Tampa Bay is just as hungry coming out this year and that your defense doesn't let up in the first game. You know what I'm saying? Like they really go after Dak, whatever. But again, if Zeke comes out, you have a great equalizer at running back to prevent their rushing game. So, if they have to start putting 7-8 in the box to stop Zeke, you have the opportunity for, so for Dak it is to throw the ball downfield and do his thing with the receivers that he has. I'm simply saying that just call it a feeling, call it a hunch, call it whatever you like. But I will say that in a close one, Dallas squeaks by a field goal. Let's go.
Okay.
30-27. Let's go 30-27.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Nathan said that's cute. Are you sold on that defense, Nick? Dallas's.
First, okay, Nate. Why is your first question always if somebody sold on defense? You seem to be asking that a lot lately. And yes, defense wins championships, right, Nate? We've had this discussion before. But this is an offensive league, my friend.
Very true.
This is the start of a new year. I'm not sold on any defense right now because any defense can give up 30 points to anybody in any given week. Start the season? No, Nate. I'm not sold on any defense, whether it be the returning Super Bowl champs or the Cleveland Browns. Like, again, I like these certain defenses, and you hope that they come out and play the way that they should. But to start the season, no. I want to see how they respond to this because, again, it's an offensive league. Even the penalties, it seems like, are called in favor of the offense more times than not. So
I know you're like, wait a minute, it's not encroachment. They're like, no, it's
the other guy jumped. The defensive guy jumped. What are you talking about? 5 yards. Go this way.
Right. Like, and if you saw any of the college games this past weekend, you'll know that the refs are calling targeting like it's nothing. They're just you hit them targeting.
They missed an important one in that Minnesota game.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. That kid hit him helmet to helmet straight. Knocked that poor kid down. But anyways, we're not talking about that right now. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go.
David's agreeing with you, saying exactly that changed the game. All you need is an average defense.
Right.
I'm going to stick with my prediction. 30-27. 30-27. Cowboys pull an upset on week 1.
Oh.
I can see it. And Delilah, I'm coming to you real quick. Nathan said 41-28 Tampa.
I think that's too high. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. Now they are coming back. I do give Tampa credit for bringing back pretty much their whole defense. That's all of them.
Right. They did. They did do that.
But like I said, it's week 1. I don't think it's gonna be a crazy shootout. Like I don't think it's gonna be a super high scoring game. I still give it to Tampa, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. Like I don't see that happening. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I think both teams are gonna come in to prove a point. Dak is back, right? He's got to go in and prove his point, right? And I think both, the defense on both ends, like Dallas spent some time beefing up their defense a little bit, So I just don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I don't see that happening on either side. I do think it's be a closer scoring game, similar to Nick, but I do give the edge to Tampa, though.
Yeah, same here. I think. What's the score do you have? Did you have?
I mean, I hope it's not by a field goal. I like when people win by a touchdown, but I'm gonna give it to Tampa by a touchdown.
By a touchdown? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually have them I've had Tampa by a field goal. I think it's going to be 27-24. I think it's going to be close, and it's going to be a situation where one team jumps out and the other team kind of comes back and does something similar to that. Going back on real quick on the rules, Nate saying random. Is that unnecessary roughness with an ejection in that Minnesota game? In college, if you get one unnecessary roughness, you're out. You get a targeting.
Game. Yeah, you're ejected from the game.
Yeah, so that's the way it is. I think in the league it's got to be 2, or I think even 1. You're still ejected though if it's targeted.
You'll be ejected for that game. Yes.
Yeah. But unnecessary roughness, it's 2, and then you're ejected. I think that's the new rule.
Yeah.
About unnecessary or taunting or something. They call it unnecessary roughness. So we shall see. Anthony Handy saying. I disagree. TB12 is one of the most competitive players in the league. He's going to come out with guns blaming.
I didn't say it wasn't competitive, but he was just bitching about the jerseys. Did you guys not see that? Like, literally, he's bitching that the defensive ends get to wear 1 through. He's like, that's so confusing. Oh, my God. Like, seriously. He was already.
Trying to remember what down it is next time, and it'll be fine.
He was complaining that's going to throw. Yeah, he's like, he's gonna, right, remember that? He said
Hey,
it's
I
gonna,
was about to say, right. Let's not forget that he forgot that. You know what I mean?
he said
Sleepy Tom.
that it's gonna throw off the
Sleepy.
offense. That's gonna throw off the offense, and then now it's more skewed towards defense when we just spoke the opposite, right? That the league is skewed to offense.
Yeah.
But he was
Tom,
literally,
they have a different colored jersey on. Don't throw it to them.
he was
Well,
You don't have
literally
to worry about what number they're at. Right. Like,
but anyway, look, like I said, I didn't say he's not gonna come out but I really don't think that I don't think it's gonna be the game that people think it's gonna be. I really don't think they're gonna come out and blow out Dallas. I just don't see that.
hey,
Yeah,
right.
I'll share the article with you if you want.
All it takes is one hit to.
Just one.
All it takes
Just
is one good hit to TB12, and that's it. He's going down.
And it's done.
He's
Now,
going down.
obviously, once he gets that hit, the league will then change the rules, so then he can't get touched.
And then prepare for Blaine Gabbert.
Right. But listen, we got to move on. Delilah, I'm coming to you. We talked about it. The NFL is here, so we're gonna do our brief glossed over NFL season preview. Shout out to my guy Anthony Handy, Nathan Snell was on it, Nick Rosario, Avlo, Dave Ball. We were all on the Let's Talk Football meets Zagdiv Productions season preview where we broke down every division, how we thought it would all play out, and
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yes,
2 hours.
It was a marathon.
Minutes.
It was a marathon.
The length of a football game. So
right.
If you have that kind of time, baby, go back and listen.
Check it out. Now, I have been trying to cut it. I have been chopping it up, trying to give it to you differently. But yes, definitely 2 hours and 40 minutes. But yo, and Delilah, I'm coming to you first. So we're going to kind of condense it. And we're going to start.
I can't share the article with you. Sorry. I thought I could text in here. I could only put in private chat.
Sorry. We'll put our Let's Talk. I'll try to put it on there. Delilah, we'll start with you. Who are your top teams in 2021?
I think for sure. I still believe like Buffalo's gonna take the AFC again, or at least their division anyway. However, I do think Miami's gonna get. I feel like Miami's gonna sneak in there with that wild card. Like Miami. I think Tua didn't get like the full season he did last season. And I feel like he was showing already what he could do. And so I think that he's going to have a really good season with Miami. Like I think Miami's going to have a good season. So I think they're going to do a lot better than people assumed. I mean, they got really close, right? And now they spent some time, we know in the offseason, we talked about that, like kind of putting pieces together. And so I think they're going to have a lot better season than people think they will. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Jets yet. I think I have to wait the first 2 weeks. I know that everybody's like, oh, Zach Wilson, right? And I think, people think he's like the next, big thing. And so I need to wait. I feel like the first 2 games. I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence, guys. I don't know. I don't feel sold on him yet either until I see him in an actual NFL game. I don't know. I feel certain, like we've seen it, right? Where these studs come in, like they killed it in college and they can't make it in the NFL, right? So I'm not too sold on him yet either. I think I need to wait and see. Will they? I don't think they'll have the same losses they did last season. They'll win a few more games, but I don't know if it's going to be what people think it's going to be for them down in Jacksonville. I hope I'm wrong. I just really, I don't know. I'm not, and I know it's just preseason and we can't judge on that because you're cutting its rosters and stuff like that. But I'm not too sold on these 2 quarterbacks yet with these 2 teams. However, I have been reading, I hope that Mac Jones has the season I think he's gonna have, not for Bill Belichick, but for the kid, right? Because he's coming in and he wasn't, we know, right? We've paid attention to the draft. People really were not trusting this kid, right? They're like, oh, we don't know. He didn't get the best grade, he didn't get the best ratings. And people, I remember Nick kind of, you had your kind of issues with Mac Jones too. You know what I mean? Just during and so I'm hoping he comes in and has, I just don't think he's there, that the Patriots are going to go as far as people think. I think it's going to take a little bit still, even with Mac Jones. I don't see them catching up to Buffalo. I see Miami catching up to Buffalo. That's what I'm saying. Like I see Miami catching up to Buffalo. I don't see the Patriots catching up to Buffalo. I just don't see that. But so yeah, I it's gonna be exciting to see where they go. It would have been fun to see what happened with the Colts this season because they really were killing it. Like but Wentz, I don't know. He's coming back. He's supposed to start, as far as I know. So.
Should be interesting.
So I don't know, but we know he's made of glass. So I hope.
He ain't staying on the field.
I hope his O line holds true, but I don't know. Like I think Colts are shaky. I know. I don't see Detroit going where people think they are. I get it. They got Goff, but you just talked about his help that he has there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. I do think that even though he's playing, I know we're playing Matthew Stafford next week. I think he's gonna have a way better season than Detroit. I think the Rams are gonna do really well this season.
I believe it.
They got close last season too. See, that's the whole thing. There's all these games, right? We know there's all these teams that
quarterback away.
That were just a quarterback, a few games, right? Like they, and they were just kind of, when they would when they would lose, it wasn't like huge losses, right? Like a lot of these games were like shootouts, and we're like, oh God, And so yeah, I think the Rams are. I think Stafford is. I don't know if he's gonna ball out the way some people were saying though, but I think he's definitely gonna have a way better season.
No doubt.
This season, I think we're finally gonna see what he can do now that he actually has pieces, right? Now that he has players to pass to, protection. I know he had Megatron, and that's sad, but but it is what it is, right? We got to move on from that. But yeah, no, I think with a new team, a new system, I think Rams are gonna have a pretty good season. I'm really excited about Arizona because they really did. I feel they've spent the most time that I could see rebuilding both sides of their team, like not just both offense and defense. So I'm excited to see if Arizona can go far because they almost beat us. Like I didn't want to go to the playoffs. We talked about that. So I was hoping Arizona was the one that took that last spot.
They got in. Right.
So so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Breakout style, I'm hoping Joe Burrow can have the type of comeback that your guy that's no longer with Washington football team. I hope he can have. I hope he has that comeback story too because I feel like we haven't really got to see Joe Burrow do his thing. So I hope he stays healthy and that we see him play a full season with Cincinnati.
Yeah. I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. And Nick, I'm coming to you, but real quick. I mean, Delilah, I agree with the Rams in Arizona. I think they made the most significant moves in the offseason to definitely help their team. Another team, and I know you guys are going to say I'm being biased, Washington. I really feel like
Football Weekly.
I feel like everything outside of picking a name for our team, we did. We fixed our front office. I mean, at least Dan's still on the head, but we fixed for the most part everything, or at least glossed over everything underneath of that. Our defense, we set that up. Our secondary is now solid. Our quarterback is better than what we've had. I'd rather have one quarterback than four like we had a year ago. Yeah. We have some solid running backs, and I think we're going to find a gem. Mr. Jared Patterson out of the University of Buffalo, solid running back. So I'm hoping we do something with him. We got a bevy of great receivers. I'm excited for sure. So I'm definitely down with that. And we already know Tampa and Green Bay because they have those quarterbacks. I can't.
Right. That's why I didn't go into. That's why I didn't go into that. I went into
I can't bet against them.
Yeah. No. That's why I didn't get into the ones. Right.
But then right, it will get to you. Yeah. But in the AFC, we got Buffalo and KC. Right. They're doing their things. Obviously, Tennessee and Cleveland are the two other teams that I think are going to round out that AFC. I think Cleveland is going to take that next step this year, and Tennessee is another one that I think is going to take another major step with that running game and getting Julio, Tannehill's back. I think those guys are gonna really show up in 2021 as the top teams. But Nick, who do you have as your top teams in 2021?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it Sunday as well. Like, I think Cleveland wins that division this year over Baltimore. I mentioned that. I thought this was the year Baker Mayfield steps up. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham. You still get Njoku at tight end. You've got Austin Hooper at tight end. You still got weapons. You got weapons everywhere.
Yeah.
So you can't. Cleveland, and then the thing is, yes, obviously Buffalo. We know Buffalo. If they again, where's Ab? If they stay healthy, they're going to be great. They're going to be great.
Right.
No, but I mean, it's any team. If you stay healthy, that's half the battle.
Exactly.
But, yeah, Buffalo, Kansas City, Cleveland, Tennessee. Yeah, I could see Tennessee. As long as you can get Julio and AJ Brown going, as long as Tannehill can get him the ball, you're good there. Derrick Henry's going to run.
Gotta tell you, I'm hoping
So,
for Miami in that spot.
See, that's the thing. I'm not sold on Miami.
I want to see them there.
I know, right? I know a lot of people are probably rooting for Miami. Yeah. I'm not 100% sold yet, and I just think that Tua's got to show me. And again, he showed some flashes last year. I'm not saying he didn't, but I want more from Tua. I'm not going to lie. I want to see more from him, and
what happens.
I hope that they did enough with Jalen Waddell and a couple of other, to Gesicki, obviously, is tight end. Let's switch over to the NFC because I think this is one of the more interesting ones because, again, most people probably go, oh, well, it could be Green Bay and Tampa Bay in the conference championship again. Ooh, exciting. And again, you say that because of the quarterbacks. I get it.
I know, right?
Tom Brady,
but and the full team, though. Both teams have full team.
No, they do. I'm just saying, though, my thing, right, I always want to see something different. And
I
not
agree.
to just be a controversial guy and just throw out anything. But you really hope that somehow, outside of we'll get to your Washington football team in a second. But you look at that loaded NFC West with the possibility there.
Yeah.
If Garoppolo can play, him especially stay healthy. If he can't, he's always hurt. But if Jimmy can find a way, because when he's in there, he wins. And that's just the bottom line. When he plays, he wins.
Yeah.
And if he can stay healthy, man, San Francisco, I'm telling you, they're going to be a contender if Jimmy G stays healthy. You can always throw in Trey Lance. You can always treat him as Taysom Hill this year if you're not going to play him much because he has that ability. He can run, he can throw, he can do all that stuff. So, I mean, when you have Seattle, you got Russ, you still got Lockett, you still got Metcalf, still got Carson, you still got, yes, the Legion of Boom is diminished. Mm-hmm. But the defense is still decent, and you still got Russ. Russell Wilson will will his team to a victory no matter what. That guy will come out of there
with true.
Blood, grass in his helmet. It doesn't matter. Russ will always fight. And so, again, the NFC West is going to be tough. You hope you got a couple teams coming out of there. You hope that – and, again, let's go to the NFC East, okay? Let's go to Sean's Washington football team for a moment. Because, yes, I know that just a few minutes ago I predicted Dallas would pull an opening day shocker on the old Tampa Bay Bucks. But I didn't really pick Dallas because Dallas kind of is like its own worst enemy. Whenever they get something good going, something seems to shoot them in the foot. It just takes them out of whatever they're doing. Because like people pointed out, this has been the same team for how many years now, really?
Right.
3, 4? You've had the same – the nucleus has been the same the last 3, 4 years? And you guys can't win, can't stay healthy, whatever it is. It just something shoots Dallas in the foot every time. But this year, Washington, as Sean said, and I looked at this because, you look at the Giants with Daniel Jones. They get Saquon Barkley back. They got Kenny Galladay in free agency. They did a couple other things to try. Gregory, the Russo they picked up on defense, I believe, in the draft. And so they tried to, beef up the pass rush and get the offense going again.
Oh, wait, who Dallas?
No, Giants.
He moved on to the Giants now.
I'm on the Giants, bro.
Okay, no, I'm trying to think. Russo went to Minnesota, I think.
I'm sorry. Did he? My bad. I was thinking of.
I gotta think. Let me go. Keep going. I gotta think.
I probably had one of the Giants in my mock draft. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But anyways, but I'm just saying, like they got somebody in the past, and so I apologize, folks.
Oh, you're good.
They did get somebody on the defense as a pass rusher. But, I mean, the Giants have an opportunity, if Daniel Jones comes out and plays, to have a good season. And, again, we all know that, Washington won the division with a losing record.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, well, the NFC East sucks, blah, blah, blah. You got 17 games now. So you've got, you know what I mean? It's going to be a thing where 9-8 is probably going to get you in. Let's just be honest. You don't 100% know what you have in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts. You hope that he plays well. Again, another Alabama kid. The Giants and what's the other? Sorry, why am I missing a team there? Washington
Philly.
and
that's it. 4. Washington, Philly, Dallas, Giants.
Right. So I got all 4. I did get all 4. I'm sorry. I'm very tired, folks. I do apologize. It's been a long day. I've been moving furniture, doing all kind of stuff. I'm so sorry. It's not my. I am not my usual right. Yeah. Okay. See, always got detractors. Don't come at me. I told you I'm in one of those moods. Don't come at me. Don't bite. Don't come at me. But anyways, to finish this up, I do believe Washington could potentially be one of the top 3 teams in the NFC, and I think it's going to start with Chase Young and that defense. That's what's going to carry you guys through, I think, this season. If that in fact happens, you guys have the opportunity there to do some good things in Washington. So I will give you that.
All right, I love you guys, and we will definitely bring more of a season preview where we will break down each division. I like you. You guys definitely went into a couple of those divisions, and I think actually the AFC East, NFC East are two that can stand to change the most. I mean, everybody looks at Buffalo in the AFC East, but like you said, Delilah, Miami's coming up. New England gets half of its team back that Cam didn't get to play with.
Make some noise. I have him second in that division. Yeah.
Right. And shout out to my guy. Shout out to Dave Ball, Anthony Handy's guy, on a co-host on the Ball Pit podcast, who said made this prediction.
He's taking the Jets. Yes,
they're going to make the wild card playoffs. Yeah. I don't know if I can get down with that, but yo. Does that make them crazy, folks? Because that's going to be crazy. Oh, and you already know somebody out here is throwing shade. Mitchell Trubisky, comeback player of the year. Wow. I'm not even going to do it.
Don't even. I'm not.
That means you. Obviously, there's a reason why you want to make sure Josh Allen gets taken out. That's the only way. That's the only way I hope he's playing.
Isn't it past Nate's bedtime? So put that brother to bed.
Oh, man.
Wow. Nate goes up super late, man. I can see Nate, he might be going on later. Shout out to Big Nate Podcast, man. He will be doing his show, season 3 of the Big Nate Talk Podcast, talking basketball, talking football. So much stuff going on. He's definitely getting in. But listen, right before I get David on here to talk fantasy football, I'm going to switch things up a little bit. We have 2 rookie quarterbacks that are starting the season on the bench. However, we definitely all think that they can get in the game fairly quickly. So, Delilah, I'm coming to you on this one. Which rookie quarterback gets in first? Trey Lance or Justin Fields?
Trey Lance. Only because I know my coaching staff well. I already know. And honestly, like, it was, oh my God, I know, but there was, oh my God, there's a quarterback now that's not a veteran, but he said, I said in the other show when we were doing the live draft, he said that his O-line was so bad that he was the most sacked rookie quarterback that season. Ooh. Oh my God. I said it on our live draft show. Sorry, it's late too. I'm a teacher, so I was like, but anyway, he was saying he said that it's better for Justin to kind of sit out and like watch stuff and submit, than risk it, and because our O-line is still like shaky, unfortunately. So rather than risking, him getting like hurt, I'm okay with him sitting out the first few games. But I really do, based on history, I don't think he'll put in Justin Fields right away. So I do for sure expect Andy Dalton to play the first 2 weeks, whether we win or lose.
Yeah.
Well, we win obviously better, but even if we're losing, I don't see him putting Justin in right away.
Yeah.
So
I can see Trey Lance. Nick, what you think, man?
Well, if history teaches us anything, it's Trey Lance. Because Jimmy G will get hurt in the first 2 or 3 games.
Oh, no.
And again, I don't mean to beat on Jimmy G like that, but yeah, But I also think that if you saw what they did in preseason, and I know
Yeah.
this isn't college and it doesn't typically happen,
Mhm.
but they flirted with the idea of playing two quarterbacks. And I think
Like Miami
I
did.
think
Like
in certain
Yeah.
situations, yeah, you may see Trey Lance come in there and do a Taysom Hill type thing in the beginning just to get him some reps and get him in there. And that's also a good way to ease him into the offense. Again, I don't know that it'll work, and I don't know if that's the best thing for San Francisco, but why
Yeah.
not? What have you really got to lose? The Bears, we know what the Bears situation is. Matt Nagy has all along said, and every press conference I hear on local radio, and every time he talks, well, we like what Justin's doing. We like, he's picking a blah blah blah. Andy is our starter, but
Yep.
Justin about it. Shut up already. We know. But I honestly think, yeah. I think the first time you see Justin Fields, and I'm going to go with this. If we start off bad, week 4 we play the Lions, and I think what better game if you're going to let Justin come in and maybe get some confidence by beating up on a bad Lions team. I would say week 4 for Justin Fields, especially if Dalton can't win it. I mean, the first 3 games, think about it. We could be 0-3. We got the Rams, Bengals, and Browns first 3 weeks. So
and we go and it flips for home.
Our schedule's not easy. It is a tough schedule, and Andy Dalton, if our offensive line can't protect him, he's going to get killed back there. So
Yeah.
I know that doesn't say any more for Justin, but at least Justin can move and escape. Andy Dalton does not move. He will get his head chopped off. So I'll say Justin Fields by week 4.
Yeah.
So Trey Lance will get in first.
Yeah, I think I agree, and I don't, and you know what? Honestly, I think if it was a question of necessity, I think it's going to come down. I think you guys would be first because I think, like you said, Andy Dalton is a shell of his former self. He got messed up by John Bostic a year ago when he was playing for the Cowboys, and he already didn't look good, and after that, he definitely didn't look good.
Right.
So, he's definitely, and he didn't look good in preseason, and not even like, maybe he just needs to get in the group. No, he didn't look good at all.
Yeah,
so
I was not impressed with Andy Dalton at all, was any? Right. I mean, he's been in the league 10 years. You know what you have with Andy Dalton. There's no surprise here. I don't understand what all this hoopla and crap is about. But the thing is, what you have.
I think that when it comes to a necessity, you guys are going to put in Justin Fields more because of A, the fans who are crying for it. B, you talk about Nagy, who he already knows he's out the door. So at this point, you're shooting from the hip. It's like whatever, what have you. But when I talk about who's getting there first, I think it's definitely Trey Lance. Because they've already proven they're going to run this, try to run this 2 QB system. Yeah. I think Trey Lance gets in the first game doing some gadget play or something.
Very well said.
You know what I mean? So
Wildcat.
Right. So he's going to try that. So I think that's going to be good. Now, Nick, I'm going to come to you. I'm still trying to get David on here. Nick, I'm going to come to you. Of all the rookie quarterbacks, so we have the Trey Lance. We have Mac Jones. We have Justin Fields. All these rookie quarterbacks that you have, shoot, even Kyle Trask you can throw in that mix. Who do you think is going to have the best year? Who's going to be the Burrow or the Justin Herbert last year?
And I'm going to go Mac Jones, and I'll tell you why. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Mac Jones was put in this position. No, he really was.
That's what I'm saying.
He was put in this position. He knew – Bill Belichick, like I said, I said this on Sunday. Bill Belichick knows what he's doing. Whether you like the man or not, he's a great football coach. He knows what he's doing. He knows his players. He knows his personnel. He knows what they can do. He knows the strengths. He knows all that. And he knew what he had in Mac Jones from the beginning. And that's exactly what he wanted, and he was able to get him. And now he's probably the happiest man in the world because this is an offense that's perfectly suited for Mac Jones to kind of get his way along, He could probably make a couple of mistakes and still be able to come out of it. You know what I mean? It may not waste the game for them. It depends how the defense plays. But, Mac is going to have his growing pains like anyone else. But, again, you're running a 2 tight end set with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. You got your back. You got who's the back there now? They got rid of Michelle. You got
It's Damian Harris.
Damian Harris, right?
They
Damian
got the
Harris,
rookie Stevenson. They got
yeah. So
James
you
White
gotta-
still sitting there.
right? James White's still there, but I mean, again, you got some guys that are perfect for the system that they're in, and that's what it is. And he runs a good system. Like last year was kind of a an anomaly. Half the defense sat out. Blah blah. The Cam thing, all that. But that's gone. He got what we wanted. I think Mac Jones. Again, you hope that Zach Wilson in New York can do something. Like who doesn't root for the Jets to at least win a few games? You know what I mean? Right. You hope that since it's his team, they're handing it to him from day one, that he comes out, and just shows you something. And again, same with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I root for Trevor Lawrence. I really hope, he lost his, ATN went out, so he lost his college teammate now again. But, you've still got some weapons there, and, let him sling it up. What's the worst you can do? You're the worst team in football. Like, the only way you can go is up. So, I mean, I would let him loose. I would let people see what he can do, and you go from there. But I do think Mac Jones has the best rookie season. I'm predicting that.
I can see that. Delilah, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying earlier. Oh, so I found. Sorry, real quick. So it's Derek Carr that was the most sacked.
Oh, Derek Carr.
Oh
Okay.
Yeah. He got sacked 76 times, and so
Derek Carr has always been a pin cushion. It seems.
No, but he came in defense of let Justin sit out. But anyway. Because he remembered his time. But anyway, it's like I said, like I hope, like I said, I do hope that Trevor Lawrence has a good season, but I don't know. I just have like this weird feeling that's not gonna pan out the way people do. It's not because I don't want him to be successful. I don't know. The NFL is different. Like I said, it's a different thing. Like we've seen it, right? Like Mac Jones wasn't picked, like he kept his value kept dropping, right? We saw that his value kept dropping, and obviously Bill was happy because he wanted him the whole time, so he kind of wanted his value to drop so he could pick him, right? So
for sure.
And so I don't know, I'm very leery of him having this breakout season that everybody thinks I hope he does. I just don't see it. I do think that's going to come down to Zach Wilson and Mac Jones having a really kind of breakout rookie season. Even if they don't even if the Jets don't go very far, right? Just all they gotta win is more games than the last season, right? What I'm saying?
Which is what, 2 or what?
As long as you improve, my friend.
Exactly. So if Zach Wilson can be, can get them to like 6 wins, 7 wins, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be tricky in that that division, man. The division is rough too. Yes. But I think it's gonna come down to Mac Jones and Zach Wilson having a breakout rookie year. I guess we'll see. But that's what I see. I see it's gonna be between one or both. The only reason I don't say Trey Lance is because if he's not gonna play a full season or a full, you know what I'm saying? So it's not because he doesn't have the potential, it's because of whatever San Francisco's got going on over there.
Right.
And so but that's the reason I'm thinking it's gonna be between them two. I think it's gonna be between Zach Wilson and Mac Jones.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. And Mac, I think Mac's gonna have some growing pains, but I do agree that Mac is gonna. I think he's gonna get it quicker than any of the other guys. Nick, we had talked about how they were saying stuff was coming out that Mac Jones was helping Cam and Mac Jones was
right. That's what I was saying.
when it comes down to Delilah, you touched on this too, and we touched on it also on a lot of the other shows. There's a different situation when you talk about Jacksonville with their new head coach that was a college coach and Urban Meyer, and they had Tim Tebow they tried to bring in. Trevor Lawrence literally has a whole franchise on his back. Mac Jones, I mean, it's like the rich getting richer. You go from Nick Saban and learning all that stuff in Alabama to his best buddy, Bill Belichick, and do all that. So as far as the transition, because we gotta remember that transition is a
right?
Deal. Right.
Yeah.
So that I think Mac
that's
Jones
why I said that.
Yeah.
Belichick knows what he got with Mac Jones. He got what he wanted. He knows what he has.
Nick, I was
and
agreeing.
Now he's going to mold him in his great creation to be the next Tom Brady, right? That's what he's
Well,
going to
That's what he's
mold
up
him.
for.
Yeah,
That's
Big four.
like I said, I'm
Big
still
four.
down. I'm still saying it's between them two. It'll either be Mac Jones or Zach Wilson. Maybe
Yeah.
one or the other.
It's gonna be interesting.
But,
It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be a fun season, folks. Let's put
It
it,
is.
that way. It's
It
gonna
is.
be a
And one of the
fun
reasons
season.
why it's going to be a fun season, Nick alluded to it. I alluded to it. Delilah alluded to it. We just got off of our Let's Talk Football fans fantasy draft hosted by the great, the amazing David Wright. I don't know how I feel about his team choice, but hey, not everybody can be perfect. I gotta bring my guy on here, man. My guy from way back, David Wright. How you doing, buddy? Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm doing okay. Y'all messed up though, and I'm just gonna throw it out here right now. I'm pretty sure Delilah is winning the whole league.
Oh, snap. Oh, hey, let me share that. Let me share that.
I hope so.
How did y'all fools let Najee Harris fall out of the first round?
Right.
Come on now. Come on.
Well, look, first, Dave, can we first talk about that 12-man, roster?
that 12-man
My
team,
pick
bro.
after, my pick was second, and then I didn't get a pick for a couple years. A
couple years.
Hey man, 12-man is hard.
Yeah,
12-man is hard.
it is.
It is.
Hey, Delilah, how you feel about your draft?
No, I mean it was fun. I mean I was like, I'm 12th, but then I was like, well, I'll just load up. Then I'll get my running backs out the way. I'll get my wide receivers out the way.
For everybody who doesn't know, Delilah had the 12th pick in the draft, and I'm just letting everybody know she killed it.
Yeah.
I did happen to scoop up Justin Fields just to spite the two of you, but
Hey,
how are you feeling?
I
Yeah.
beg to differ here, Mr. David Wright. As you leave. I just pulled up my team here on my cell phone, and I'm looking at my starters going, for being the 7th pick, I didn't do so bad. I've got Lamar Jackson. I've got Chris Carson, Gus Edwards, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf. I got Jasicki at tight end, Chase Edmonds. I got, Denver's defense. Like, what are you talking about? Delilah's going to win the division just like that. Over at Tyler. Come on, bro. Come on.
Hey,
man.
for the record, I was really mad that you took DK. He was going to be my next pickup.
Yeah.
Man, this was the first year I did so many mock drafts.
Yeah.
So many mock drafts.
Yep.
I had the 5th pick in the family league. I had the 1st pick in this league. And what I realized after the family league was mock drafts don't mean a goddamn thing.
They don't.
No, not at all.
I stopped doing them, like whatever.
The crazy part was just trying to follow along with everyone.
I've never done a mock draft.
Okay.
And this year I was like, no, I'm going to be prepared. This is how people prepare?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's
It's like, wait a minute.
Let's talk about Sean's team. Sean, what you got?
We can definitely do that. Let me go ahead.
All right,
Just
let's see what you got, son.
Let me go ahead and get down to it.
Talk
Since
some
the
trash.
winning team. Oh my goodness, it's daggone 12 teams.
I know. It's
Yeah.
I'm telling you. This is a hell of a draft.
Oh, there we go.
Sean,
Now,
your quarterback is going to get
Kyler. I know.
absolutely
I know it.
decimated all year.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
know
picked Kyler Murray, didn't you? Yeah.
But look, now my backup quarterback, who's probably not going to win any games, shout out to Anthony Handy, but he's going to throw for 400 yards. Matthew Ryan.
And Ryan, right, there you go.
Matty Ice, he's going to throw for his yards. He ain't going to win nothing, but he's definitely going to throw for some big name
Did you
yards.
pick up Calvin Ridley to go with him?
No, I did not. I did not.
Oh,
I definitely went Alvin Kamara with that first pick.
that's right. Because you were second, you said?
I was second. Yeah, I was second, but then at the same time, I was what? 18th? I mean,
Right.
when it went back around.
Well, David, did you pick McCaffrey first?
Yeah.
Okay. No, most people do.
I had
just
to.
was-
I had to. I was torn. I was really torn, but
Yeah. Okay.
I see you
'Cause
picked your
I didn't
quarterback,
catch it
Dave.
at first what happened there. I caught it. I came in. I'm like, oh, wait, the draft started. Let me look at this. All right.
Dave, I see you picked your quarterback.
What's that?
I see you picked your quarterback.
Dak
Mr.
Prescott.
Okay, so I went into the whole thing.
Right.
Wide receivers are just so deep.
They are though. I thought they were real
Right.
deep this year.
So with the first pick, I intended to go with CMC, and then the best available player, whether he be running back or wide receiver, at number 2.
Right.
And then I was going to take Patty Mahomes at 3, and it didn't feel right. So at 3, I went with Keenan Allen, and I had a deep quarterback pick in my pocket that I really liked, which is also why I think Delilah will probably win this year because she took him. I hate Bobby. I just really hate Bobby because Kyle Pitts with my 4th pick was supposed to make up for not having a high-end wide receiver.
Right, I get that, sure.
So but I took Keenan Allen, so we'll see how it works out.
I like what you got. Jerry Jeudy, Mark Andrews. Buffalo's defense is definitely solid.
We do want to just mention real quick, folks, that Delilah was having some technical issues, so she does apologize. So we'll
give me a second, Delilah. I'll send you that link.
We'll see if we can get her back in here, but she just wanted everyone to know she's having a little trouble there. But
get you that link,
I always find it. I don't know how you guys feel, but I always find it interesting with drafts because you're like, oh man, I'm going to pick my running backs first, or I'm going to pick my receivers first. And if it's a PPR league, you want who's going to get you the most points, and I'm going to do this and that. And then you get like the number 5 pick, and you're like, yeah, that shit just went out the window. Because the first 4 people in front of me took all the best running backs and or whatever, you know what I mean? And you're like, now I got to strategize and try to figure out how to build my team. And that's one of the interesting things I found this year with drafting in different leagues. And like I said, this particular league, I was drafting 7th. And I think my first pick, I don't remember exactly, but if I look at my team, and if I can remember, I think my first pick actually was probably Chris Carson. By the time it got to number 7, like everybody had taken running backs. You know what I mean? Every running, or is it Devontae Adams was my first pick? Okay, that makes sense. Because everybody was like, I'm looking, I'm like, the top, 4 or 5 running backs are already gone.
Yeah.
So like, what do you do? Okay, well, I'll take the top receiver then, I guess. And then the next time around is when I picked up Carson because I'm like, I do need a running back. I need somebody. So so it's very tough when you got to figure out, because people are drafted just like you, like they want the best players, and you're trying to figure out, man, which way do I go now? Right. Then there's always that one person who takes a quarterback really early and throws everybody off. And people start scampering for quarterbacks, and they're like, what?
But see, and David, I think that was one of my issues because when you have the first pick, you get the stud running back, and then you come back around and you're like, all right, I'm not going to get a quarterback now. And I had those 2 picks within like 4 where I got a receiver and another, a tight end, something like that. But then you're like, okay, I'll hold off. But then it's like, dude, I can't hold off. I might.
Everybody starts taking a quarterback.
Right. By the next time it comes around to me, there ain't nobody available.
Especially in this league with 12 people, that's 23 picks.
Yeah.
23 players are coming off the board before it comes back around to you, and that's tough, man.
So true.
Okay, Nick.
Yeah.
When you go into your draft, I think you just kind of touched on it, where everybody has their strategies. What was your position that you loved this year? Obviously each position has their ups and downs. Yeah. What position did you really focus on this year in all your drafts?
I went heavy running back to start with, just about every draft that I had. And it's funny because I was doing kind of a simultaneous draft a little bit right after ours started. I had another one that started at 6:30. It was supposed to start earlier, but it started later. And I was looking at the 2, and I had the number 1 pick in that draft. So I did take McCaffrey first. And then, you wait 18 picks, and then you get 2 in a row. So you're like, man, what do I got to do here? But I'll let you guys – I'll run through my starters who I have just because I want to show you, like, what I ended up – kind of the thinking here. I ended up picking up, like I said, McCaffrey first, Then on the next 2 picks, I picked up Chris Carson and Terry McLaurin because I needed a receiver and a running back.
Yep.
Then the next time around, I took Cooper Kupp and Dallas Goedert because, again, people started taking tight ends and, coming off the board and whatever. And then I got Russell Wilson and Brandon Cooks on the next 2 in a row. And then I started being mean, and I started taking all the receivers. So I took like Jerry Jeudy, Corey Davis, Michael Williams. I'm like, screw you guys. All right, we're gonna
take them
play
all, right?
I'm just gonna start taking receivers from everyone. But so yeah, it changes your strategy, man, and it really makes it difficult because you gotta, when you don't have 8, but 8, you're picking every 18th pick. I mean, yeah, you get 2, but you gotta wait 18 picks to get to those 2. Yeah, I never liked drafting 1. I never have. I think it only happened one other time when I thought back about it. But this is definitely more tough drafting 1 than I ever thought it would be. I was not a big fan.
I'll give you guys a lot of credit because through all my mocks and my past years of drafting with friends and family, this year, those players that you're like, oh yeah, nobody's looking at that guy.
Yep.
I'll be able to steal them later.
Yep.
And they were flying off the board.
Yeah,
They really were, man.
I took Marquez Callaway a whole round early just because I'd already lost some of my guys before.
It sucks.
Man.
I had him queued up too, just in case. I'm like, cute. And I would literally have like, all right, let me see who it gets back around. They're not gonna see this guy, and it'll be like off the board. And I'm like, really?
Exactly.
And I was like, it was funny because I don't know who was doing sound effects, but it's like every time like a person did the sound effect, that was me, and I was like, oh, so we were looking at the same player, and then they're gone. I was super bad. I was like, come on. I thought people would forget about Randall Cobb. I was like, yeah, he's back in Green Bay. He's gonna get some play. They're gonna forget that he's back over there.
Exactly.
I was like, no.
And there it is.
Well, Nick, Dave, you sat there
That's rough.
when it came around to me again at one time. I remember you had come up and you picked that, and I wasn't even thinking because with a lot of my drafts, it's always like when is too early to drink,
Right?
I mean, you know what I mean? Like when is too early to get your quarterback? It's kind of like I don't want to do the first couple rounds, but with 12, it's like, dang, I need to get somebody because by the time it comes back around to me. You know what I mean? It'll be Fitzmagic.
I don't know if you remember, but
I didn't wait that long, and I went 12. I waited till like I think 8th round. I think
I took my entire clock almost on that Dak pick.
Yeah.
I sat there. I had to marinate. I was like, just Kyler Murray was still on the board.
Yep, that's what I got.
In the quarterback rankings, it went Kyler Murray, Dak, and then Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and I thought it through, and I mean, it was a hard pick because Pitt was off the board, and that screwed my whole thing. But you know what? Kyler Murray, I think, is going to have a really tough year.
I agree.
Tough year.
I see. I didn't think about it until now, but yeah, I agree.
That division, those defenses, those passers,
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be crazy. So I'm like,
all 4 of them.
That's what I'm saying. They're all stacked. It's like, okay, good luck.
All right, so at first glance, who you guys think is taking the whole thing?
From our league?
Oh yeah, of
Here
course.
it is. Here it is. What do you mean?
Well,
I mean, is there even a question?
I mean, does that really require an answer? Does it?
I was just curious if anybody was going to pick anybody but themselves.
That's right. Yes, I believe. I don't. Well, you know what? And I'm going to be real honest here because this is one of those things where outside of think of the 4 of us, I don't think I even know anybody else who drafted.
I know. I didn't know that either, so it's hard for me to
these are more people that you know, Dave, or that Sean might know. But me being new to kind of this to you guys, I don't even think I knew who else was drafting. I don't know anybody else. I don't think.
A lot of the people were in the group. A lot of people were people that watch us every week.
Okay.
Are
Okay.
tuning in, have been talking with us all this time.
Okay, see,
So a lot of
that's-
people, it's like we know, but we don't know. No,
We don't know
you know what
them,
I mean?
right,
Like
right.
we kind
might
of
know a
like know
name.
them, by Zoom and all
Gotcha.
these different things.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
Like,
But
who
look,
are
so
you? What is your name? No.
let's go through week one. Now I have who's Miles into the woods.
See, who's Miles into the woods?
Let's check and see. Take a look at that. Who is that? I should look it up on my phone. Yeah, it's going a little slow at the house, so I looked it up on my phone. But I'm playing them first in the week, and then Team Chosen One versus Waddle House. Oh, let me get these up right here so I can take a look at this.
Yeah, I'm really mad at Waddle House. That's Bobby.
Yeah.
I was like, he was picking all my guys. I was like, no.
He's taking them all.
I'm playing Ash
I really thought I
Swinton.
was going to sneak Javonte Williams.
Ah.
Oh my god, I was like,
saw that.
I was looking at him too. Yeah.
2 picks in a row. He snuck my guy out from under me.
There you go.
See? That's how it's done.
I'm telling you, it's
That's how
rough.
it's done.
So who
So I
is
got-
Ash Swinton?
That's it.
That's Sid's wife.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
so that's who I'm
Sid's-
playing in week one. Sid's
Yeah,
wife.
Sid's the diehard Steelers fan. I play Sid. He's Miles into the woods.
Okay,
I play him week one.
gotcha.
Miles into the woods is Sid.
Yeah. Let's see.
When I play David, and my odds are slightly not as good. So you might beat me week one.
Oh, David, there you go. David. Okay, so I know David John L because that's John Linney, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Delilah and Brandon Davis. I've heard the name.
So he's the Saints fan.
He's the
Brandon
big
Davis
Saints
is
fan. Yeah.
diehard Saints fan.
And then Sydney and Ash. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So Waddle House, that's Bobby Wills.
Right.
Team the Chosen One, that's actually my cousin that lives in North Carolina. He's been watching us for years, but never
okay.
commented or never gotten into anything. And
Really?
so
Was he on auto draft?
I think he was, because I think he's working right now.
Yeah, because it took
somebody on auto draft.
forever. Okay, because I was sitting there going,
Yeah. You got Team L, which is John Linney versus Saints Who Dat, which is my boy Brandon.
Yeah.
Now, unnecessary deafness. David, you're taking on my older brother, Daryl. Huge Giants fan, which is weird that he got, because he got Tom Brady and Josh Allen. What?
Oh, I thought I was playing David. Who am I playing then? Is there another David?
Yes, you're playing David Ferguson, the
Oh,
diehard.
I didn't see.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
David. I didn't see the last name. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Ferguson.
I was like, there's another David?
yeah.
Sure.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
the other David's got a squad too.
Right.
Just saying.
No, he does. That's what I'm
knows?
saying. I was like, oh, this is going to be tough.
Aaron Rodgers,
I'm
cook,
putting my
mix it.
bet down right now. I think
Yeah.
Delilah's taking the whole damn league.
Oh,
I hope so.
Najee Harris fall to the second round. I don't understand it. How this woman got 2 top flight running backs.
who'd
There's
she
a
get?
single other team who
Who'd she
matches her running back.
She got
And
Chubb.
she took my quarterback, Matt Stafford, who I
Okay.
think is going to fall out this year.
Mhm.
Man, we're in trouble. I'm just saying, we're in trouble.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah,
Now
I
we
believe it.
see over here, over on the right, you can see playoff percentages.
I was actually
Oh.
surprised that Chubb and Najee were there too. I was like, wait, they're still here?
So where did I end up? I can't read that so clearly.
Let's see. You, Nicholas Rosario. Which one are you, Nick? You're
The
nice, Big
Knights.
Nick. So you're 31% playoff percentage.
Oh,
Playoff chance.
I love it.
31's good though, right?
Underdog.
31%.
No, probably
Yeah,
not
I'm
good, right?
44%.
Right. See,
The
it's probably not
highest is
good.
John Linney at 62%, followed by
Ooh.
David, both Davids at 51%.
See, I'm not making anything according to them. So
We shall see what happens.
Me
31%.
neither. Me
Right,
neither.
We shall see.
and
But
David
listen,
is called. He says Delilah will take it.
he
I
said
don't know.
she'll
I
take
hope
it.
so, but
We'll
I
see
don't
what happens.
know.
Now listen. I hate to do this, but in DC it is quarter to midnight. My
Yes.
baby has to go to
Gotta
school. We have to
go.
do this.
Mhm.
Before we go, I need to plug our show weekly. Myself and David Wright will be doing a weekly show where we are talking about our fantasy league, talking about our pick'ems, talking about all the things that are going on, why his team is garbage, why my team doesn't have a new name, all those things pertaining to fantasy football. So look forward to that as we bring in all guests from Let's Talk Football family and this and that. And check out David, who will be joining us on Thursday for Let's Talk Football, the initial episode of season 4, ladies and gentlemen. Season 4. So David, my man, you know us all love. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, man. I cannot wait to get into this arguing with you on your damn Cowboys.
Hey, we're gonna have a fun year this year, guys.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah, for
Everybody
sure.
be safe, get some sleep, and
Yeah.
if you haven't
I'm
joined
ready.
the Pick'ems League, please join the Pick'ems
Yes.
League.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. I'm not going to close it at the start of the season. We're just
Okay.
going to leave it open all year. However, there is going to be a cash prize for whoever the overall winner is. So if
Okay.
you join in week 6, you're probably not going to be
Which
eligible.
is your? Did you send a Pick'ems league? I don't remember that.
Just resend it. You sent it.
Yeah.
You sent it, but we've sent multiple.
There's like a million messages.
That's the thing.
I don't even know. I don't even know how many
There's
leagues
a-
I'm in. I gotta
I mean
go count.
I'm going to go pick in there.
Oh yeah, you're already in there. See?
Maybe 6. I
Oh
don't know.
shoot! I gotta go in there then. Wait, send the
Alright.
link again.
I'll post,
Oh my
I'll
God.
post the link in the page again. I love you
We got
guys
like,
so
we got like
much.
3
for
different
having
group
me.
chat.
Yeah, right. Post it on the page. We'll get it. My man, yo, appreciate you, buddy.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks, David.
I'll see you, man.
No.
All right, guys.
All right, man.
I don't want to be on
No.
auto. Oh my God, I gotta fix
Right.
that right away.
So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another fun, exciting episode. We came to you. We tried to keep it at an hour and a half, but once we started talking fantasy football and Dave, man, we could have
Yeah,
kept it
that's what
going
happens.
for the rest of the night. That's yeah.
I gotta go to
So-
bed too.
We got teachers, we
Yeah, I
got
gotta
workers,
go.
we got everybody. You know, we got to do it. And I'm going to get yelled at. I'm going to be sleeping on the couch tonight. So, yo, for your boy, Sean Spencer, one half the dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football, my guy, Nicholas, I want the smoke, Rosario, and Miss
Have a great night, everyone.
Delilah Crespo. Yeah, yeah. Yo, thank you for joining us, guys. And
Good night,
hey,
guys.
football is here soon, guys. Stay tuned. Yeah. Ooh. Have a good night, guys.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The line. The line. New music, so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.